Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today I have the opportunity to work on a JigMaster to help out a viewer. The viewer is Ray, and Ray is out in Pennsylvania. Ray was given the JigMaster, and he says it's not free spooling correctly. Well, let's give it a go here. We'll put it in here. Oh, he's right. When you go into free spool, your handle's turning both ways. Well, that usually means that the pinion gear is not disconnecting from the spool. So we need to kind of take a look and see what's going on with that. That'll be the project for today. We'll try and see what's going on and get this one back to Ray and his son so that he can keep it fishing. He said it was received as a gift. He's watched my repair video a couple of times. Hasn't been able to quite figure it out. I told him I would be happy to try and give him a hand. All right, well, a couple of things you need to know about the JigMaster, and a couple of things you need to know about Second Chance Tackle. Second Chance Tackle, well, we're in the business of keeping reels serviced and taking older reels and giving them a second chance. Perfect for this. And, well, what we want to do is encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you like to learn how to do fishing reel service and repair, or if you just like learning about fishing reels or seeing how they are serviced. This one's a popular one. This was made in the USA. It's burgundy side plates. Probably puts it in the 80s. And, well, just a nice reel all around. The JigMasters have been around for a very long time. They go all the way back to the 1940s with the advent of the Surfmaster 250, which was a lower gear model. And then subsequent to that, they introduced the higher speed one, the JigMaster 500. And discontinued the Surfmaster 250 along the way. All right, it has a single screw take apart. If you turn that counterclockwise and then pull out on that, you will be able to do a minor turn towards you and release it. Well, everything looks nice inside, but something isn't agreeing here. As I mentioned, it usually means that this is not going in enough to disconnect from the shoulder. And, well, I'm looking at this jack here, and it looks like it's kind of bent out of shape. That may be the cause of it. It may not be allowing it to fully retract, because I can see a gap here. So it's quite possible that it's not pulling up all the way in order to get a release. But hey, we'll never know unless we try, right? All right. This is actually the inside. All right, let's take a look. Let's remove this. This will be a good video for you to use as a service video. I have quite a few JigMaster videos out there, but if you want to use this one, that's fine. This reel's clean. Ray said it was given as a gift, so we'd like to keep the reel as it is, and it is in beautiful condition. First thing we did was we put a little bit of grease onto that side bearing in the back there. Also checking, this reel hasn't been used much. You can tell there's a nice pointed part of the click tongue. That's all good. You can put the spool right back in there. And let's go over to this side and see what the cause of that is. I'm thinking it's that, yeah, this jack is very loose. That shouldn't be just kind of floating around like that. Well, let's see. Maybe it's something else completely different. I'm also noticing there's a little bit of play in that handle. To remove the side plate, the first thing you want to do is remove the handle. The handle screw is held in by a little retaining screw. This one's too loose. You need a wrench for this. This one's way loose, but that's not causing the issue. We'll remove the handle and the star adjuster. Now, I kind of know this reel because I've worked on a lot of Penn JigMasters. But if you don't know, the first recommendation I make is to go out to the internet. You can use mysticparts.com. They have the schematic for this one, and that'll give you an exploded view picture of the reel that you're working on. And, well, it'll also give you the ability, if you're using Mystic Parts, to go order any parts that may be needed. So let's take the bridge screws out. And the other recommendation I have is to use a parts tray or use some other method, but plan in advance what you're going to do with those parts when you take them off. When you take them off, notice differences. In this one, the 2 screws that come out of the bottom hole have threads on them, and the 2 screws that come out on top have partial threads. I use a fast food container for mine, but well, quite honestly, you can use a little bit of whatever you would like. All right, got a couple of things going on here that I'm not sure are all right, or if it's just the way this came out. The first is that the drag washers set seems to be wrong. This eared washer here belongs in the slot, but there also belongs a washer on top of that. We have the washer, but it doesn't look like we have the metal washer, so we're going to have to get underneath that. Second one is this spring for the anti-reverse dog belongs under the anti-reverse, and as we mentioned with the other one, it appears that this jack is way out of shape. So we'll go about making this correct, and we'll see if that has any difference. Now, because I've worked on so many of these were the standard of pleats for a long time, I can kind of pick up right away that the jack doesn't look proper. This is typically the jack you're going to find in a JigMaster, but even if you have the one that has the tooth thread, I'm trying to find one right now, even when you find the one that has it, look at the difference in that hook and this hook. This one's well bent out of shape, so I'm thinking that we're probably not getting the full release on this. What do I mean by that? This should pull all the way and up to go and sit like this. Well, if it's not going all the way there, maybe it's getting stuck out here. Could be problematic. I think I'm going to go with the one that's more common to see if we can't fix it that way, and we'll see. On the other side too, as I mentioned, there's an issue here with the drag stack there. That's incorrect. This is a set. Well, it looks like we have all the drag washers just have them in a weird position. That's because the drag washer that's up top belongs on the bottom. And as long as we're going to go service this, let's see if we can kick this pin out here. We can. That pin holds our sleeve onto the bridge. If you can pull it out, you can do a cleaning of the bridge. Now the reel was pretty darn clean coming in. It doesn't appear as though this part's been cleaned, so we'll take care of that. The reel turned nice. When I was turning it, it just had a little bit of a grind, and it's probably because that bridge didn't have the spacer on it. So the red washer, the hard washer, let's put this back on first, that might be helpful. When you pull that pin in, you need to make sure you clear the slip here. The red washer belongs on the bottom. So there was a little bit of gear noise I was feeling when I was doing this, and I think I was probably feeling it because that washer wasn't there. It was rubbing up against this post. I'll show you how to set the dog. The dog has a little tag that comes out of it. The dog is going to nestle in here. It's going to stop the reel from going backwards, hence anti-reverse. And the spring gets compressed. This one seems to be bent down a little bit. Probably got trapped somehow. I'm going to cycle that around here. And that's how your anti-reverse dog spring is set. Then we can put our red washer on. Again, it all looks very clean. All the teeth seem uniform, so next step we're going to do is we're going to put some grease onto this. You don't have to get grease in every tooth. There's a difference in the diameters of this one and the pinion gear, so it will spread it over time. Okay, then we have a 6 drag set here. These are the older hard washers. There's nothing wrong with them. The order is something's wrong with that one, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a complete a upgrade. These are broken. We'll do a complete upgrade there. We'll go back and see if we can do that. I'm going to shut the camera off for a second and go get the washers. Okay, these are the modern HT100 washers, so we're going to go use those. They have an option to be greased. The first time around, I'm going to put a little bit of grease on there. You want to use your gloved hand to wipe that grease in. You want to make sure you can still see the cross hatching on the washer, and then grab one of those washers. It's called a keyed washer. It has a rectangular center. Do that again. We're going to do that twice more. Again, if you have any excess on there, wipe it off. It's just going to squeeze out if you don't. This is the middle washer. In that last stack, it wound up top, and it was outside of the there's two inserts in the main gear, so you probably didn't have a very good drag system. That's the last one we did of this. Go ahead and put that last one on top here. Then we have a cap washer, and then we have the gear spacer. All right. I'm optimistic that we'll do okay with this once we replace those parts. A little bit of grease into the back bearing, a little bit of grease onto the eccentric. Check your spring, that's fine. Here's that example I was saying. There's two screws that are fully threaded. They belong on the bottom. Let's grab our pinion gear, check it again. This doesn't have a lot of wear on it at all. That's all good. Nice to find one in this condition, given the age of the wheel. We're going to put that in with the alternate style on the jack. So you have a yoke and a jack which controls the free spool. All right, grease on the shoulders of the pinion gear. We're going to get the two springs. The springs go in the cavities on each side. The yoke sits on top of that with the slot in the pinion gear facing out. Compress that. And then we're going to bring this up and over. Seat that. That is your jack. Now we can take our bridge and just place the bridge in. Pull down on your pinion gear to make sure that that's all in. Make sure you lock into the two studs on each side. That's the spacer that fell out, that's okay. And now we can put the screws in. The two threaded screws go on the bottom. And I like to start with alternating the screw pattern to keep that bridge nice and square. Start with the bottom one because you don't have to wrestle going through the springs or anything. Then we'll come over to the other side, see if we can't get this one started. This has got to go through the springs and it's got to go through the yoke. So sometimes you need to use a centering pin or other things to make sure that you're lined up there. And you only have a partial thread on that because the part that's not threaded is actually where the spring is going to go up and down. And this is the partial thread. If for some reason you put the fully threaded screw there, it's possible that one of the rings on the spring would catch. All right, tighten down the fourth one. They're all tight. Put the cap back on. We can see, yeah, see how much more it's pulling in now? So before that was here. Now we've got that whole diameter or the width of that plate. This should fix the issue that we had with the reel. These are beautiful reels. They're durable. They used to be the standard for surf casters. Then of course higher speed reels came and reels with more ball bearings. There's a 501, 506, which are got the traditional ball bearings, which replace these. It's much more of a in line with the Penn Squitter, and that's an absolutely beautiful reel. But the more modern day ones like the Squall and the Fathom will definitely throw better than these. Well, the commercial charter boats use these as well. They're very durable, and unfortunately, in and around the 2005s, production of these was moved to China. The materials inside these reels changed, and the design is still the same, but the materials are different. And I've come into a host of issues with the reels, things like frozen bearings on spool shafts, or frozen pinion gears on spool shafts, frozen bearings, period, and gear shafts that don't hold up. Just, it's unfortunate, but somebody made a choice that said I can save a little bit by changing the materials. I don't know why I'm having trouble with this, but I am. Well, I went to my backup, I got my screw starter, started the screw, finished the tightening of it. Well, now it's time to put it on. One more thing to do here, just a little bit of grease onto your spool shaft. Let's take the plate then. We can already see that when we pull that in, it's much better. I have no doubt this will work. Tighten it in, align the studs on the inside of your side plate, turn it just a little bit, make sure that your screw is aligned with the hole on the inside of the case, tighten that down. Check the side-to-side play on the spool. That's about right. We're in gear. Turns nice and easy. More importantly, does the handle turn when we go into release? Well, it doesn't. So I think we've managed to fix that one for right. What did we learn? Well, we learned sometimes there's a mechanical issue in here. We found two of them. The first one was that the hook on a jack was out of shape. Now that's hard to know unless you work on an awful lot of these reels. Well, here's an example of how the hook should look. Nice and tight, and then the one that was bent out of shape. So that wasn't enabling this one to go all the way down to push that out and pull that in. Second thing we learned was, well, it's an older reel. He got it. He didn't know the history of it. We've got broken drag washers in there. So in addition to replacing the jack, we also replaced the washers that came along with it. And now we have a beautiful functioning reel that Ray can go use with his son and enjoy for a long time to come. Very nice reel overall. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. I want to take a moment to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, and rescue for their dedication to public service and for keeping us safe. I also want to thank everybody for watching, for subscribing, and for making this channel what it is. I encourage you to ask questions and leave those in the comment section. I will try to answer those for you. Best of all, I want to wish everybody a great day on the water and fun fishing. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.